Hello. This took a minute to set up because the camera's just on a tiny tripod on the other side of the bed, and this is a shoe rack. So, Friday Fitness on Tuesday. My Ultras came in, so as promised, even though no one watched the previous video where I promised this, I'm going to talk about all the shoes that I plan to use for the 2021 running season and what shoes I'm going to get rid of. So let's start. All my shoes are just in a pile beside the bed right here. And as soon as the cat gets involved, it's going to cause chaos. But let's get started. Where am I going to get started? I know where I want to get started. Biggest shoes, like highest stack height, highest heel, that I'm going to be keeping are my 1080s, my 1080 V10s, and I do not care for the version 11s, so I am in the market for some dead stock of 1080 V10s. These guys are my, which side should I go from? Go from that side. Look, there's a cat. When you move things, the cat's like, hey, why'd you move things? So, 1080 V10s stay in the rotation. They're for easy days or very long runs, and I will also wear them as a fashion shoe, which I now consider an endorsement. If a shoe looks cool and is a good runner, that's sick. So let's talk about what I'm not keeping. Ghost 13s, which have a 12mm heel drop. Yeah, no need for that. If I want to wear a max cushion shoe, I still wouldn't want to wear a 12mm heel drop. So those Ghost 13s, which have literally been worn once. I got them for free and wore them once to try them out. I just confirmed, they are what they are. But let's talk about Ghost 12s. Ghost 12s. I had a really good time in the Ghost 12s. Still a 12mm heel drop. Still a shoe I would no longer wear or even recommend. But I did run some half marathons in them, and they were perfectly fine. I do get knee pain when I run in them, or worsening knee pain. Now, I once did a day where I ran, and I had this knee pain coming in. I ran 10K in my Ultras, which are zero drop, and then I ran 10K in Ghosts, and the knee pain came back, and then I ran another 10K in my Ultras again, and the knee pain went away. So, can confirm, high heel drop, not right for me. So, I'm always hesitant at work to recommend the Ghost to anyone. Am I too high? Am I like, if I have to do this again because I'm out of frame, I'm going to be livid. I'm such a shitty YouTuber. I can't film worth shit. And I don't even want to consider myself a YouTuber. That's dumb. I don't think I adjusted anything. I think I lost the bottom of the shoe rack though. Anyhoozle. So, Ghosts 12 and 13. Gone. Getting rid of them. I'm going to donate them to wherever clothing goes when you put them in the bins by Superstore. You know the ones I'm talking about. So, what's another shoe that I'm keeping then? Still in terms of max cushion, Ultra Torrens. Torren 4. My marathon shoe. And I had pretty good marathon distance in them. Plus I ran them again recently. They're a bit chunky underfoot, like they're not fleet-footed and coltish, but they are 100% my go-to marathon shoe. And they are my default shoe on Strava. So, strong recommendation. Will keep them for this entire year. And then, what's another shoe I'm going to get rid of? Oh, glycerins. Like, I'm sorry, Brooks. I'm sorry. Glycerins are a half size too small because I'm a 9.5 in almost everything. Most Brooks I have to go up to a 10, and I wasn't thinking when I filled out the form and got these for free the same way I got my Ghost 13s for free last year. I already talked about this on the channel. I just don't need a grandma shoe. For me personally, the 1080 is a better shoe in every regard than this. Like, there's nothing that the glycerin offers that isn't surpassed in the 1080. So my Brooks collection dwindleth. Now, let's stay on that topic. Talk about the Brooks Levitate 3. I'm an accidental Brooks fan, honestly, because I really liked the Ghost. And I was mid on these Levitates. Now, these have an aftermarket lace on them because the lace on the Levitate 3 was like a boot lace, and it was ridiculously long, where even tied up it would whip you in the shins, making you think that your shoe would come untied. And the Levitate 3 is a little bit bulky. It's a good enough shoe as a lightweight sprinter, but it's not better than anything else in terms of a lightweight sprinter. And it's not better, in fact it's predictably worse, than the Levitate 4, which you already know that I have because I talked about this yesterday or the day before yesterday. Levitate 4s are out. They're lighter, they're slicker, they're more breathable, and they look cool. I will also wear these as a fashion shoe. The only Brooks that I like, of the 4 that I own, 5 that I own, is the Levitate 4. So that's a sprintier shoe. And yeah, you can't see the bottom of this rack now, but you know it's there. I took all the shoes off to take this rack out of the closet and move the rack onto the bed so I could film this, and I'm going to have to take them all off, put the rack back in the closet. As we're coming down into the sprinty type shoes, let's talk about some other ones. Which one I want to talk about first? Let's talk about the controversy. Because the only shoe that I don't know what I'm doing with this year is Asics Evo Rides. I got these on a whim because they have such a clear toe-off rocker, and we have no Asics racing style shoes at my work. So when I was picking up a pair of Escalantes at another store, saw these, tried them on, Goldilocks fit, and I was like, yeah, I'll just take them. And then my bill that day was $475 in a month that I spent $700 on shoes. I don't know. I like running in them. The real query is, do I actually need them for anything? They don't serve the purpose of the 1080s and the Taurins. They don't serve the purpose of the Levitates and all the other shoes I'm about to mention. But I still like them, and I paid full retail price for them, which makes me feel bad about just getting rid of them, having only run in them maybe 3 times. So I don't know. But I like that I have an Asics in my collection as well, showing that I'm well-rounded. New Balance Ultra, Brooks, Asics. And then let's get into the lightweight sprinting shoes, and also let's hope the camera doesn't die. Again, I'm a bad YouTuber. If you had to judge me by percentages in my collection, you would assume, especially last year, that I'm a New Balance man. Because I got New Balance Tempos and New Balance 1400s. Now the 1400s, like the Tempo, is just a great shoe. if you want a lightweight sprinting style shoe or just a warm weather pavement running shoe, Tempos are fantastic. You don't need to say much more about them. Don't be afraid to go up a half size if your toes feel vulnerable in them. Just double check that they're not too long. I have a little bit of controversy in my mind about the 1400 because it's a 10 millimeter heel, which is, again, insane. And I don't know why a lightweight sprinting style, track style shoe would be that. But I really, really like them. I like running in them. They are a shoe that I feel nostalgic about. I mentioned this once before as well. During the winter, we were talking about shoes at work and mentioned the 1400, and I had this pang of yearning to get into my 14s and go for a run. Like, I've set, some of my PRs have been set in these. I love running in them. And because I'm not in them for a long time, I have yet to develop any knee pain that I associate with higher heel drops from them. Look at this dumb kitty. So, yeah, they're still in the collection. And I run in them a lot. Like, I run in them more than Tempos. And I'm just conscious of how they have a 10 mil drop, and I really like them. Whereas the Tempos, I think it's a 6. And as much as I like them, I always choose the 14s anyways. Just very peculiar, just an eccentricity. And now, let's get into, so last year, if you were to look at the percentages, you'd think I'm a New Balance guy, because there's 3 New Balance shoes there. But now, and then my day-to-day shoes were Escalante 2s by Ultra. But now, the Escalante 2.5 is my day-to-day shoe. And I'll still try out some runs in it, maybe even right away today or tomorrow. But it is meant to be my day-to-day work shoe, because the 2.5 is a lot more luxurious than the 2. As a cat sneezing. And yeah, not much to say about it, because it's an Ultra, and it's an Escalante, and just solid. It is like, it should be the default shoe, honestly. If you have any issues whatsoever, just get a pair of Ultra Escalante 2.5s, make them your day-to-day shoe, and it will not fix your issues, but it will stop anything from getting worse, I promise you. That's legal medical advice. You have to take that. So, Ultra Escalante 2.5s, good day-to-day shoe, might put some mileage in them as well, since I did run a half marathon in my Escalante 2s. But then, also, unboxing vid. Terrible shot. Escalante racers. And actually I will go for some runs in the 2.5s and the racers to really deduce what difference I perceive in them. Because, yeah, like the mesh is clearly lighter, and I think there's less stack height. Yeah, gotta be a bit less stack height there. Very excited to see what a run, like a sprint, is like in an Escalante racer. Grab the camera here, because I also want to show the kitty who's been sitting there the whole time, being a funny weirdo. And then the shoes. So this is the year from the 1080s and the Ultra Torrens, the Levitates, the Evo Rides, the Tempos, the 1400s, Escalante 2.5s, Escalante Racers. That's the quiver. I'm not getting any more shoes this year unless I get rid of one of these pairs. There's always going to be 8 shoes in the quiver. And then, I'm going to get rid of all these other ones. So, distinct lack of grandma shoes. Brooks. Brooks is a great company, though. An absolutely fantastic company, and they make a lot of great stuff. Just not shoes available to me that are in my wheelhouse and that I prefer. I do sell a lot of glycerins to a lot of old ladies. That's the video. Friday Fitness. Shoes. I don't know how to end this video.